which strategy would you recommend to help improve the reach of somebody's content?
Stick with one thing, throwing out a 10-page booklet of walls of text isn't necessarily working, as well as
when people comment on your content, that sends a signal to the algorithm that it's valuable content. That's something else I've been using to fight against low reach.
It's going to help make them come back to your page. It's going to help them spend more time consuming your content, which helps you reach those people in the long run.
As we get into our conversation about the untold truth of the Instagram reach to content, I say it's the untold truth because we keep hearing other things. We hear directly from the CEO, from Adam Survey. He actually stated that your content isn't registering with your followers in the same way that it used to. So consider making better content. I feel like I took that personal when he said that. It's almost like he's saying your content just isn't good enough. I don't feel like a lot of us would agree with those sentiments. So which strategy would you recommend to help improve the reach of somebody's content, whether that's IG stories, reels, whichever one you want to pick, or maybe you want to try something that applies to them?
So one thing that I did, I just had a campaign. I launched a new digital product, and it was probably my best campaign ever, even though my reach was so low. And I think it's because I posted 2 to 3 times more than I normally would for a campaign. So if you have a really important message, double the amount of content, triple the amount of content, because I ended up having one of my best months ever, even though my reach was really low, which is crazy. So just post more. And I love using ManyChat for automation, but also because when people comment on your content, that sends a signal to the algorithm that it's valuable content. That's something else I've been using to fight against low reach.
Yeah, that's great. And I love that aspect in regards to doing it that way. You're posting more strategically because you're not doing it just across, you're not burning yourself out, and that's something
it's
that
for
we
a week and a half.
sure we get across.
Exactly.
When I'm telling people, go ahead, start posting every day, twice a day for the next 6 to 12 months. No, please do not take that advice. Ginger was like she was about to jump through the channel if I was telling people to do that. No. But I would love to hear what you have to suggest next, Ginger.
So because people are consuming differently, because it's so fast-paced, I believe that a lot of it has to do, it's always had to do with our hooks. Our hooks are what bring people in. Our hook is what tells people what the content is about. And I've seen a shift in, it's no longer it used to be 99 tips to XYZ or 101 content ideas. People don't want that. That's too much. It's too much to consume. They know that. They're not going to do it. They're not going to consume it. Go ahead and jump right in. Let them know, the feeling. Talk about the feeling that they're having. Go ahead and pull on that heartstring right from the beginning. Today's reel, I talked about content and whether it's connecting. Content not connecting. Just real simple. Keep it at that. Yes, they're either going to say, no, my content's doing great, or they're going to say, yes, my content isn't connecting with people. What do you have to offer me? So jump right to the point in your hook rather than 101 tips to create content or whatever. I think that's huge. I think that more actionable tips, whether you're doing a reel or a carousel, throwing out a 10-page booklet of walls of text with all this stuff isn't necessarily working, as well as content that's really quick, really easy. Stick with one thing. I know that we've said this a lot on Instagram for years and years and years. Stick with one point, but I think it's becoming more and more important than ever. People don't have time to sit and decipher and go through a huge piece of content. So keep it really simple, keep it really easy and actionable. And one more thing, because Laura talked about it and I've seen this working really well, focus on the Save CTA. The Save CTA is working really, really well. People are taking that action. And as we know, any action is an action, which is a plus sign in Instagram's book and bumps our reach up. So focus on those saves, focus on those likes. Likes are still a good thing. They're still something that we want. So likes and saves, I would focus on those as far as calls to action.
So I actually talked about this near the end of last year quite a bit. So maybe it's not necessarily changing, but it's more so, really honing in and focusing on this part of my strategy. And I found that it's helped a lot of my students as well, is to create small, bite-sized, very easy to digest series. Series. They're so bingeable. They help the algorithm also because it's going to, once you share Instagram growth tip part 1 and it goes out to 10 new people, those 10 new people consume it, they engage with it, they like it. If you share part 2 but they haven't followed you yet, they're more likely to be shown that again to get that little nudge of like, hey, you liked this, but you still didn't come over and follow that person. Are you sure you don't want to check them out again? Like it helps group you together with those people who are engaging in like content. It also really helps you build that trust with your audience so much faster because you're giving them those quick wins, those like easy bite-sized pieces of advice and tips. And, like Ginger was saying, it's about those small actionable things they can do. And so sometimes it's very tempting to share, 101 items of whatever resource tips because it's very savable. But if you can, really work in the savable content with that quick actionable stuff that they actually will save as well, it's going to help make them come back to your page. It's going to help them spend more time consuming your content, which helps you reach those people in the long run and really, again, build that trust because they're getting those quick wins.
We live in a world today now where the audience, they are short on time and they want what you're going to give them as soon as possible. So I think that's a really great aspect to even consider there. Part of our conversation today and what I'm going to jump into is one of the things that we should be doing on Instagram is engaging. We're short on time and we don't have a lot of time to engage even sometimes, where if we put out a post and we get 100 comments back, now we got to spend time commenting back to those 100 people. ManyChat will change the game for you in regards to DM automation. If you ever come across those posts that say comment this or comment that, that is the idea of using DM automation in the background. When somebody comments, the DM automation kicks in and actually sends messages that you create automatically to them. You can leave your phone. I have my phone on the side right now, and I'm sure that it is going off for certain things. There's so many things that I've been using it for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. And that's actually my point, is not just ManyChat, but engagement. We got to start focusing on engagement. We started talking about the saves. Yeah. If you look at Reel, they give you like those things on the side. It's comments, shares. Instagram is telling us what's important to them. It's right there on the screen. And if we could get the actual audience and viewers to actually use those tools right there to trigger and activate on the content that we're sharing, it's going to tell Instagram that this content is worthy, push it out to further people. We believe that Instagram only allows our content to be seen by a small percentage of our audience until that small percentage of our audience tells Instagram that this content is worthy to be seen by more. The only way that you can get them to do that is if they engage with your content. You might have to step your content game up, but make sure you're motivating them to actually engage. I think it was Megan that said your IG stories have been doing well.
Yeah,
I
mine
started
has
doing
been
this thing.
better. I mean, compared to everything else being down, but overall everything is down, but my stories are still really solid.
Yeah, my stories are good.
It seemed like stories seem to be pretty well. I'm telling you right now, my stories were in the garbage can a few months ago. I hate it. I mean, I love sharing, but it was like if I share too much, like more than 5 posts a day, I know it was going to tank. If I use certain stickers, it was going to tank. Came up with this strategy. I've been experimenting. I love to experiment. That's what social media is about. And what I started doing is posting 1 a day, focusing on telling people to comment on the IG story. Just comment on the IG story. I know stickers work. They definitely do. But since I started practicing this, I did this like 8 times in the last month. And when I went into my insights, out of the top 6, 5 of them were posts that I used that same strategy out of the whole year.
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
So I'm like,
so
I got to start getting people to just engage via the comments more. And I think that same strategy does apply to carousels and reels as well.
Absolutely.
So we need to get people to engage more. Saves is cool. Shares is all right too. But man, I am loving comments right now, and it's been working out for me.
Definitely. And if you guys think about it, the biggest reason why Instagram is really rewarding Instagram pages or people who are using things like automation or getting people in the DMs is because they are consuming content on two different parts of their app. So they are, in the post commenting the word, and then they're going to the DMs and they're connecting further there. So Instagram's loving that you're getting connection and usage in their app on multiple different places. And so that's why ManyChat is so helpful, because I don't know about you, I don't have all of the time in the world to actually be in all places at once. And it can really help us bridge that gap and save that time while we still go in and, can make real human connections, follow up with them after.
I think we've all kind of hit different areas in regards to why we believe the reach has been going down, but we've also shared a lot of great tips in regards to how you could fight and combat that. It's something we could all relate to, yet we could fight back with these certain tips and strategies. So I hope that you guys take this information that we shared, and as I always say, step your gram up in the best way possible.
I'd love to share more about the Social Roundtable with you. If you have a moment, check out the playlist that's on the screen. It's featuring more episodes from the Social Roundtable all about Instagram growth, the latest new features, and strategic ways to build on your engagement, and so much more. You're not going to miss it, so make sure you check it out, and I'll see you there.